Alright guys, today I'm going to be talking about the HiFiMan Sundara magnetic planar headphones. These were sent to me for review by Apos, or Apos Audio. If you like free shipping, price match guarantee, 2-year warranty, 45-day return policy, so you can try things out. They have a chat if you have questions and you need to talk to somebody about products or whatever. It's a good place to definitely check out if you're into audio gear. Link will be in the description. Now we'll move on to the actual headphones themselves. Obviously the headphones are right there. We'll take a look at what you get in the box here real quick. Nothing crazy. Nice foam liner, owner's manual, warranty card, and then this pretty nice box you could store them in. If you got a lot of headphones and you store them in between use. But yeah, the packaging's pretty nice. So we'll get that out of the way. We'll go over some just quick specifications real quick. The frequency response on these is 6 hertz all the way up to 75 kilohertz, which is very good. Impedance is only 37 ohms. Sensitivity is 94 dB, and they weigh 372 grams or 13.1 ounces. So they're fairly light. They do kind of look, possibly to some people, maybe kind of big and chunky, but they're actually pretty light. Now, these I've had for about a month, and these are, I mean, I don't buy a lot of expensive headphones. I'm not a huge headphone guy. I do like headphones, but I don't have, a ton of them like some of the other YouTubers out there that are just, headphones are like their main thing. But out of all the headphones I've had, the next best thing to these probably would be the Sennheiser HD6XXs. These are probably my favorite headphones like this I've ever had. Just very well made. As soon as you pick them up and touch them, you can just tell they are made good quality. Mostly metal, not, if any, I don't think really any plastic on it. Maybe a little bit in these trim pieces here, but the headband is a spring steel headband with this nice wide leather. I don't know if you call it like a saddle or headband, which feels nice, and it's kind of more of like a suede leather on underneath. So it's not a finished leather that's smooth. So it actually kind of grips your head a little bit. It's not a flexible. Some of these headphones, this headband has elastic on the ends that are flexible. This is more of a fixed sort of thing, and then you got your spring steel band over it, providing what I would say for me about the perfect amount of tension. Doesn't squeeze too hard, not too light where they fly off. Nice logo on the headband there, and then even the I don't know what you call this, the arms that come down and hold the headphone cup or can, as some call it. This is steel, and it's all one piece of steel that just comes around that's bent to attach to what looks to be a machined aluminum cup here that holds the driver, metal screws that hold that on, nice thick metal screen to protect it there. These are an open back, obviously, very open. And then you can see in there's notches placed in here for when you adjust the headband. Very, very solid click. It's not a light click like some of them. It's like I believe the Sennheisers, it was actually fairly easy to accidentally adjust them, where this is a very deliberate click, which I do like a lot. You can kind of set them where you want, and even if you move them around like this, they'll stay, which is nice. Side indicators here on the inside of each headband, pretty typical. Right, left. And ear cups seem to be some sort of pleather mixed with a soft fabric, which is nice because it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. It breathes a little bit, and they are super soft. I've been wearing these off and on. I think the longest maybe a couple hours, 3-4 hours, maybe a little longer than that. And like any headphone, you leave them on that long, they do get a bit warm, but totally tolerable because I mean, even if you're just getting up here and there to go to the bathroom or get something to eat or drink, you're going to take them off for a minute anyway. So very, very easy to wear these for a long time. Super comfortable. And then your input is just 3.5 millimeter jacks on each cup. And we'll get to the cord here in a second, but I think I touched on everything in there. I believe if I turn the flashlight on and stick it inside here, yeah, you can see through the cup. These are planar magnetic. They don't have a typical, I believe it's just considered a dynamic driver. So this is, I believe, HiFiMan's own planar magnetic driver in there. Audio, sound-wise, oh, I forgot to cover. These are kind of stiff, like the way they tilt here. See these tilt in and out? When you put them on, you kind of just press them against your head and they'll tip in and kind of adjust, or you can tip them out, you know, however you want, which is kind of nice. As far as listening impressions, like I said, the closest thing I probably have to compare them to is the Sennheiser HD6XX probably. I have had the Philips SHP 9500s, but I don't. That was quite a while ago. I think these compare more closely to the Sennheiser or the HD6XX. But anyway, right off the bat, I felt like these were more impressive. I haven't had my Sennheisers for a couple months now. I had them for quite a while. I did like them a lot, but as soon as I put these on, almost instantly I'm like, these are better. I like these better than this HD6XX. Wouldn't say it's like a night and day thing. I think probably anybody that had either pair could probably live with either one for the most part. I don't think it's like a huge difference. At least it wasn't to me, but I did notice something. Well, a lot of it too was the comfort. When I put them on, I feel like these are more comfortable. They just fit my head better than the Sennheiser. But to me, anyway, these seemed a lot more just neutral and easy to listen to. The only thing for me they lacked that the Sennheiser seemed to do a little better was low end. These are very neutral or flat. I don't like saying flat because then people kind of relate that to boring sounding. It just means it has a flat response where it's not, or it seems to have a flat response where it's not coloring the sound with, too much bass or too much treble or, whatever. And I think since these are an open back, the bass is I don't want to say weak. It's just not. It's not quite as strong as I would like it to be. I think a lot of it is because the bleeds out through the opened cup. But most programs, like even in your phone, I mean, I don't know if most people powering these off a phone. Depends what phone you have, but in most cases, it's not too big of a deal to go into some sort of equalizer and just bump your bass up a little bit. It seems like it's not all of it. It's just below 100 hertz. I can't remember what I did. I think at the very bottom, around 30 or 40 hertz, I went up like 8 dB, and then the next one, like 5 dB, and then right around 80 to 100 hertz was like 3 dB. To just kind of pull that lower end up, and it really helped. But as far as the mid-range and the treble, super clean, just non-fatiguing, easy to listen to. You can listen to these headphones for hours without any sort of listening fatigue. They are just so easy to listen to. And the whole bass thing, that's going to be, because it seems like with headphones, bass is one of the biggest things that people either want or don't want or whatever. So the level of bass they have might be perfectly fine for a lot of people. And then depending on what kind of music you listen to, what kind of person you are, you may want more bass. And if you go into that equalizer and pull your bass and stuff up a little bit, they do respond well. They can put out more bass. You just got to tweak them a little bit. So other than that, the overall sound profile and everything, I would take over the HD6XX. The comfortable, to me, they're a little more comfortable. And all these things are going to be more or less subjective, but if I was presented or asked to keep one or the other at the end of the day, I would keep these. The cord they come with, I'm not a big fan of. I will say the Sennheisers had a better cord. It's a nice looking cord, very heavy duty, right angle, 3.5 millimeter jack with a metal collar here, which is very nice, very heavy duty, robust, whatever. That leads to the two 3.5 millimeter plugs that go into the ear cups. The problem is the coating, the covering on the cord. And it's not bad. The cord seems heavy, it's thick, and it comes with this nice, what seems to be, a decent quality plastic splitter right here. I mean, you'd have to yank on it pretty hard to break it, but the problem is you can feel the cord just feels like almost like an empty tubing. And it says this wire is some, I don't know if it's OCC copper or whatever, the crystalline copper or something. I don't really subscribe to that. Just as long as it's a good copper wire, I'm fine. But you can kind of see right here. Oh, it's like there. You can feel there's two tiny wires in there, and this is like the tubing is too big. Almost feels like when you put heat shrink over two wires, and then before you shrink it, and then you can tell when you bend it. See how it kinks like that? It's because this outer coating, this outer stuff is not actually attached to the wire on the inside. It's not like a molded wire. It's just like a rubbery sleeve over wires that are on the inside. And you can tell what I noticed is right here up at the plug, this is where I think these are going to wear the worst, is when you bend this, it kinks really bad, the outer coating. Or the outer sheath, whatever you want to call it. See, it just kinks. Boom. And I mean, these are metal too, and they got a nice rubber grommet on here, if my phone would focus on what I'm doing and what's behind it. But yeah, it's got a nice rubber grommet on there. But that's not the problem. It wouldn't matter if that rubber was down here, because wherever this bends, it's like a garden hose when you kink it too much. See that? I just don't think that's going to hold up, especially when it's up here, right where it goes into this plug. And even I've only had these a month, and I've been using them, but not like a ton. And they're already, see that? It's already starting to get weak. Like if that just bent back and forth over and over, I have a feeling this outer tubing would crack, or it would start to. The wires would be fine, but this outer tubing would start to pull out of this rubber grommet. And it's the same thing even on the bigger end here. You can feel when you pinch it, there's this wire inside of this like tubing, and when you bend it too much, yeah, see, it just wants to kink. Best way to describe it for most people is it's like kinking a garden hose. It just collapses, and you can tell it's just a empty tubing over wires inside, which I don't know. Maybe in the long run, it holds up. It just doesn't seem like it will, and it's really curly. It constantly, all it wants to do is curl up. I left these things hanging. You probably can't see, but like I left them hanging open for quite a while, and all they want to do is just curl right back up. I left them hanging. Hopefully they would relax after a week or so, and which most cords will, especially if you warm them up a little bit. The polymers or plastics will kind of relax a little bit. But this one's, it's gotten better over a month, but it's still, if it gets a chance and the cord's hanging free enough, it still wants to kind of coil up. So unfortunately, if that kind of stuff bugs you, you're probably going to have to buy a different cord for these. But that's really the only con I can find with them. Everything else I absolutely love about them. And just in my small experience, my narrow experience of headphones, really, that and not even being like a headphone aficionado or anything, I would still feel comfortable paying $350 for these, which is usually about where they land. It goes up and down a little bit, but other than the cord, and in the cord you could live with. I've lived with it. If I was going to keep these, like these were mine to keep, I would probably start looking for a different cord for them. But then that just goes to say, it depends on how much you want to spend. I think you wouldn't have to spend a whole lot to get a better cord than what they come with. So, but yeah, I think that's going to sum up my review on these. They've just been an absolutely delightful headphone to try out. If you're on the fence, like I said, I'm not even a headphone, guru or anything, and I wouldn't feel bad paying $350 for these. Especially a lot of it comes when you actually pick them up. The build quality, that's the being all metal, they just feel so well made, to where the Sennheisers, even though they're well made, they still feel, they have that plasticky kind of, I don't know, you just know what I mean, the plasticiness, a little bit loose, and these feel just so much more like a premium product. They feel like when you touch them and move them and put them on, they feel like a much more expensive headphone than they are. So I really like that, especially in a day and age when so much stuff is just made out of plastic. But I think that's going to be it for this review. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. I don't care. I don't monetize any of my videos. I don't make any money off this. I don't get to keep really anything I review. I send it back or sell it or pay for it out of my own pocket. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.